What's up, my friends? Welcome back and welcome front. In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at JGM's Asura. And this was sent to me by TF Safari, tfsafari.com. Check them out for all of your robot and mecha needs. And this is obviously a third-party Chibi SD micronized version of Volcanicus made popular by Power of the Primes. I know there's Dino King and the Beast and all of that, but I think Power of the Primes is really when they cemented him as Volcanicus. And similar to the TCW, the TDW kit that upgrades that set, this kind of these extra bits, they act kind of in a similar fashion because he is a parts former, but nonetheless, I mean, look at all of that. Like the feet are extraneous, the chest bit, the head, and the hands, these are all separate, but I think it really helps the build come together. I'm not particularly biased towards parts formers or non-parts formers. They're all the same to me. As long as it's a cool looking toy, I'm kind of fine with that. All the individual transformations from bot to dino to limb mode, you can see those in the shorts. In this video, I'm just going to show you how to combine into Volcanicus, and all four of them actually start in their dino modes except for Grimlock. He starts in bot mode, and there's a lot of cool gimmicks about this thing too. Like this thing over here, this is actually 5 unique individual accessories combined into one. Same thing goes for the hand cannon, that blaster as well, and they break down into the individual Dinobots accessories. But anyway, enough of that. Just wanted to give you a quick sneak peek, and so we're going to break him down and go through the combination, and that'll be the video, so stick around. Okay, so we'll start off with Grimlock, and we're going to form the torso. And as I mentioned before, if you're curious to see the full transformation between Dino and Robot mode, you can go ahead and consult the shorts, okay? And you can find the link in the description. And so we're going to go ahead and hide the hands. One of the things about the Dinobots that you're going to see is they all have this kind of like swivel shoulder mechanisms. It's implemented a little bit differently on Grimlock, but what you need to do is you need to swing this forward. And don't worry if it pops off. It has a tendency to kind of do that, but don't worry about it. And so what you're doing there is you're doing this, and then you see that little slot. You're going to bring this back, and ultimately you're going to want to have this line up like that. Cool? And so it's going to do a little bit of compression, and it'll kind of freeform in your hand actually. And so you can bring that back again, compress this just until it tabs in like so. Nice, right? And we can pop the helmet off. Then we can get the head, and then we can press it down all the way until it won't go any further. And then what you're going to do is you're going to also bring these out so they're kind of laying flush against the dinosaur hands. And what else do we need to do? A couple other things is this we're going to bring up over here. And these are kind of like the heel supports, the bottom of the feet. And it serves a lot of different functions. But for the Dino mode, this is going to be the side skirts. Because as you can see right here, this is going to be the waist flap. The waist skirt, if you will. Waist armor. And then so we're just going to fold these in kind of like a la Combiner Wars like. And I don't remember if the orientation is like this or if it's higher, but whatever, dude, we'll kind of figure it out as we organically go through this. The slot mechanisms in terms of how you connect the legs are done with the toes. It's really quite interesting, and I really like the implementation. And I'll show you in just a second once we get to the feet. But for the time being, this is going to be the torso, and you can already see the kind of shape of it. But in order for it to work, you got to bring this baby in. And this kind of reminds me a little bit of the TDW set, the one for Power of the Primes Grimlock. And what you're going to do is you're going to place the head in this vacancy. And sorry, I'm nursing a damaged finger over here on my nail, and so I'm not going to show you that. Why was I trying to show you that? And then the top of the little shoulders, those little slots, they're going to go inside. Or those tabs are going to sit inside those slots. And then you're just going to press that down. But there's more points of connection. And so you're going to make sure that this is flush and press this back. And this, you're going to swing over. And you see that little gap right there, that little slot, you're going to tab that in right there. And do your best not to scrape any of this with this, so you can just like slightly pull this forward. Ow, my thumb. And that is pretty much the Volcanicus torso. That's nice, right? I actually like this kind of iridescence in the clear parts over there. That's really, really cool. He also does have a light up head, and it will get activated via this, but I don't have the batteries inside. In order to apply them, you just pop the back of the dome out, And you can see the little circuitry mechanism there. Then you can close this back up. So cool. That is the torso, and that is a good looking noggin, my friends. And so yeah, we're pretty much done with that. And so let's move on to the feet. All right, cool. So we're going to make one of the legs, and you do need an extraneous piece, and it's going to be this foot. And it's really, really easy. And what you're going to do is you're just going to pull this out. Then you're going to make sure that it can bend forward, that it has the clearance. And like I said, if you want to see the full tutorial on the transformation, consult the shorts. It'll be right there waiting for you, my friends. And we're just going to bend the head back like that. This we're just going to have situated like so. And it's so cool that they have little ball joints on the feet, right? Then after we do that, oh, you know what? I may have been a little bit premature. And so we're going to open this chest up, and this is where the head is. And by the way, check this out. He has a cool little like face swap gimmick. Right? And so this little helmet over here, yes, it is utilized when you're doing the face swap, but this back piece over here represents the connection to Volcanicus. So you can get that, and you can just slide that bit right in there. Pretty cool, right? I think it goes down further. Maybe that's about it. And then after you've done that, you're going to actually close this all up like that, right? And then this you'll be able to bring up like that. And then what you're going to do right here, now that this is closed, you're going to come down here and you're going to flip this around. And you see how it has a little raised bit over here? It has it on the same side. Oops. It has it on the inside as well. So, sorry, just getting my bearings. You're going to bend this. That little swivel mechanism that I talked about that's present on Grimlock, that little gold piece, it's represented as this black piece over here, and you're going to move this up. And then when you do that, you're going to be able to bring that in there. Same thing. Spin this around, and then move, orient that back, bend, and then tab in like that. And of course, you want to do this at the end because all of this needs to be closed. And in order for this to close, this has to be all connected like that. Maybe I'll just put these up here for now. But that's pretty much the leg. And they are interchangeable. There's the foot. And so what you're going to do is this entire section over here, you can see the channels, the grooves, right? You're going to make sure that this is closed nice and tight. And then you're going to slip that all the way on. And if you have difficulty and it doesn't slip on, make sure that the head is fully bent back and recessed. The toe will bend. So that is pretty much one of the legs. And he's coming together. He looks nice, doesn't he? And the other leg is pretty much just the same thing. It just transforms ever so slightly different, and I'll show you that right now. Okay, so we have Mr. Sludge over here, and he's very similar to Snarl, but instead of the head, you have the tail over here, and the head is over here, so it's kind of like reversed, right? And so it's the same thing, though. You're going to pull this out, and this is going to come down, and you know, you can flip the head around. And this is serving as the same orientation as the tail, right? You can see how similar it is. And so pretty much you can just think of the same thing. We're just going to bend this tail back because that's where the head is going. This you can flip up. And all this mechanism, this is going to do the same thing. You're going to bring this down, and you can see the connector that's present there. This is going to flip around. And ultimately, we'll need to secure this at the end because everything needs to close up first. And so we have that open. Now we're going to get this. And we're going to slide that into the Grimlock toe all the way in. And now we can close that up. And now we can close this up. And then we can rock the shoulder. And then, oh, you know what? You do have to do that. There you go. Right. Spin this around. Rock this backward. Bend the arm up and so that it tabs into the chest. Nice and secure, my dear. like that. And then where's the foot? Same thing. Make sure that this is nice and tight. And once you've achieved that, you can slip the foot over. And there we go. And yeah, we do need to clean them up a little bit, but overall you can see it coming together. And he's like, yay! That's kind of funny, dude. But yeah, he's coming together nicely, isn't he? Very, very nicely. And cool. So we will work on the arms next. Yeah. Alrighty, Aphrodite. We can work on the arm now, and it's Mr. Swoop. Dude, I don't know what's up with the focus. It's not really working well today, and I'm having to constantly manually adjust. But we're gonna move the head down, and then we're gonna remove this because this is going to sit back here. But you know what? We'll do it later. We'll do it after we've plugged in the arms and stuff. And then this, pretty much, he's just in his dino mode, and we're going to keep this all like this. And the way this all transforms, there's a degree of familiarity, isn't there, in terms of what we did with the legs? It's very, very similar. And then from here, we're just going to pull this down. And this feels like a Craftsman's Toys maneuver. And you want to make sure that this side is facing the shoulder connector. Then we're going to spin that around. And in terms of how this looks, that's kind of up to you. But what's most important is that this part needs to be exposed because we need to clip the fist in there. So let me grab one right now. Make sure that this is fully closed. Like that. Pretty, isn't it? Even with the bad focus. Just having to do some manual adjustments right now. But that's pretty much the arm. That was easy peasy, wasn't it? And so we get that. Then we will just slip it down into this channel. Compress it all the way down. There you go. You can see it coming together now. That's cool, man. That's really, really cool. And finally, last but not least, we're going to finish this up with everyone's favorite Triceratops. And I will be right back. All right, cool. We have Mr. Slag. And the way this is going to work is it's going to look similar to the way the legs transform, actually. Very, very similar, if not identical, except for this piece kind of extending down. And then again, we're going to spin this around to get the elbow oriented in the right way. The head can kind of pop forward, and you can kind of do that. And then this over here, same thing. Spin around, rock, and actually maybe I don't need to spin that around. Oh, yeah, cool. Yeah, just like that. Rock that forward, move this up, then have that just kind of tab in there. And then after that, just make sure everything's kind of cleaned up, right? And then we have the bend. And where's the other hand? Cool. Nice, huh? Nice, nice, nice. And now we can just slide that in to the elbow joint. Oh, excuse me, not elbow, shoulder. And it looks like I turned this perpendicular. So we can just spin that around. Actually, it's kind of tough to spin around. Maybe I can just get it to sit in here. And then after that, I can spin it around. There we go. Nice. Dude, he's gorgeous, isn't he? He's so nice. Wow. Wow. And finally, we'll get the wings. This feels kind of like a Megazord vibe or something like that, right? Just have the wings come in at the end. That's a good looking bot, my friends. And it's a really fun ride and really cool endeavor just kind of putting this together. I'm not opposed or averse to parts forming, and I'm totally fine with it. It's a means to an end sometimes. And yeah, and if you don't like it, then that's fine too, you know? But yeah, this has been Volcanicus, aka Asura from JGM Toys, and you can pick this up at TF Safari. At the time of this recording, I believe they are sold out of Wave 1 right now, their first wave. But go ahead and put in that pre-order. It should be back in stock soon. And if you do order it, you can utilize the codes that you see on the top right-hand corner of your screen. And yeah, man, I appreciate you watching, and thanks for being here. That's it. Have a nice day, okay? Bye-bye.